So today we're going to be talking about some levers that you can pull to grow in 2026 without overextending yourself, sacrificing your time, sanity, or your team's sanity. Really quick before we fully jump in, make sure if you want to interact with us in the chat, you have that set to everyone if you'd like everyone to see it, or if you'd like to send a private chat just to the Wodify team, you can switch it to hosts and panelists. For questions, please use the Q&A section to ask questions. If they get added in the chat, it's likely we'll miss them. Don't want that to happen. So add them in Q&A and we'll answer them at the end. And then pay attention to that resources tab because I'm going to be turning on links that you can grab in that section throughout the webinar. Like I said, my name is Reagan. You guys may recognize me from email. I send a lot of emails about new features and things you guys should be paying attention to here at Wodify. I'm the product marketing manager, and I'm joined today by Patrick, our chief marketing officer, Taryn, the director of Wodify sites, Carla, our manager of account management, which many of you probably know as well, and Ben, the VP of Sales and Customer Success. So really strong, awesome team today. We're going to jump right in and talk about the growth opportunity of January. So sometimes when we think about January, you may think about it being a really busy month, but that doesn't necessarily mean busy in terms of lead volume. You guys may have noticed this in years past. It's not as busy volume-wise as maybe some of those summer months, but it still can be a huge opportunity for growth. Reason being, people are very motivated to make changes in January. They are making resolutions. They're actively searching for a good fit to help them reach their new goals they're setting. And it's not necessarily the number of leads you're getting, but the quality of interest of the people who are reaching out. They are ready to make a change and motivated more than any other time of the year. Nearly half the people who set resolutions every year, which is about 48%, include health and fitness in their resolution goals. So huge intent towards improving their health and fitness, and this is definitely something you should be capitalizing on. This is also backed up by this year's State of the Industry report by Two Brain Business. If you have not yet had a chance to check out this report, highly recommend you do. It's packed full of industry data. This year's data showed that while January is not the highest month of the year for leads, it is the month when gyms get the most intro appointments booked and make the most sales all year. So just further emphasizing that people aren't just thinking about change, they're ready to take action. And in order to capitalize on this, you need to be planning to cater to them now. So the gyms that are going to thrive and make the most out of this opportunity in January are not the ones that are waiting until January to do something about it. They are planning now so that they have systems set up and in place so that they can hit the ground running when that interest starts pouring in. So today we're going to be talking about 4 moves you can make now to set your business up for success in January. First, we're going to be talking about your website. So we want to talk about how your website should not just look good, but also turn interest into action and show up when people go to look for a gym to join. We're also going to be talking about how important it is to automate follow-up to convert and retain clients. Then we're going to be talking about maximizing profit with smarter pricing. And finally, how you can turn unused hours in the gym into a growth opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Patrick to get us started.
Hey everyone. I joined Wodify as a CMO earlier this year, and it's my first chance to connect with so many of you live, and it's great to be part of today's discussion. So first off, thank you very much for giving us your time. I really appreciate it. So I want to start where almost every new leads journey begins, and it's your website. A website isn't something you set and forget. A website is a core marketing asset that should consistently turn visitors into leads, and in January, that impact matters more than ever. At Wodify and as a CMO of Wodify, I drink my own Kool-Aid. And I'm sure you've noticed already, but back in October, Wodify completely overhauled its website. And a website really, really matters. I can't stress that enough in terms of how much that first impression counts. Uh, we did a lot of things with our website, and Taryn and I are going to talk to you about more of these over the next few slides, the next few minutes. We overhauled the design, we overhauled our messaging, we overhauled our SEO. And we did that because Wodify, like you guys, wants to keep growing. And it plays a huge role in helping us stand out from the competition and win new Wodify customers. And likewise for you, standing out from the competition is going to help you win new clients and members. So let's start with the very first impression. We all judge on appearance. We can't help it. It's true. Your gym's website is your virtual front door. It's the first place people will go to decide whether you're worth their time. It has to quickly show your value, establish credibility, and make it obvious why your gym is the best choice. On the screen here is one of my favorite because they're local to me. Wodify customers, Alchemy 365. They're down in Denver, so super close to where I live. You can see here one of their two locations, and you can see on the right their website. And both make a great impression as you virtually or literally walk past them. And this really matters. So if your website misses the mark, you're going to lose leads before they ever walk through your real front door. And don't forget that first impressions count when your visitors talk to their friends. So if somebody sees a great website, they'll actually reference it in a conversation. They'll talk about how they heard about it on social media, they checked out the website, and they think that you should check out that gym because it sounds like it's right for you. So I'd also think about how a gym's website can generate word of mouth for you. Now, before they even get to your website, and we're going to talk more about this in a few minutes, gyms need local customers to thrive. So showing up in local search is essential. On the screen here in front of you are three different types of like search result that I just tested out for myself to see what would come up. And I was looking for gyms in the Boulder, Colorado area. So you can see how Google has pulled up a nice website, sorry, a nice Google Map preview. You can see on the right-hand side what ChatGPT is telling me I should consider if I want to join a CrossFit gym local to me. All of these things really, really matter, and you need to think about them when you are building and maintaining your website. If your gym doesn't rank locally, leads will never discover your gym, your website. And now with those AI LLMs, they're really the new search layer. People are asking AI agents for the best gym near them. If AI can't understand your website, if it can't read the text, both on the like that you as you see it, and some of the back end text, which is called schema, that is becoming more and more important, it's just not going to recommend you. So that first engagement with a lead really happens before they even get to your website. So I really want you to think about that on the call today and think about like what will you do after today's call going into the new year with your website to help you with local SEO and AI. And Taryn is specifically going to share tips with you on how to address that. So just to wrap up, and before I hand over to Taryn, there's four areas I think it's good to take a moment and ask yourself, what have you done to optimize your current website? What are your plans for a new website in the future? Number one, does your website design reflect your gym's experience? Is it mobile friendly? Number two, is it easy to book a class, buy a membership, or join your gym? All three of those CTAs are equally important, in my opinion. I see a number of gyms that have the lead magnet front and center, but I also think for returning customers and just for people who are coming to your site for the first time, understanding it's going to be super easy to book into a class. Steve, yeah, we'll absolutely talk about that in a couple of slides. It's really important for you to make sure all those call to actions are really easy for somebody to navigate to. What SEO work has been done so you rank above competitors? And is your site's lead form connected to your CRM for automated follow-up? That's something that we're going to be talking about shortly as well. Reagan's going to cover that. So these are all the foundational pieces for a high-performing website. So if there are like four things you take away and you mull over and you like decide what you want to do next, these are the four that I would make a note of and come back to in the next week or so as you think about the new year. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Taryn. Taryn's got 10 plus years of experience designing and building beautiful, high-performing websites. And we're lucky that we have her at Wodify, and we're lucky that she does so much work for our customers, enhancing their sites.
Well, thanks for the intro, Patrick. No pressure. All right, so I'm gonna dive into the nitty-gritty after Patrick went all those high-level things you gotta remember. First and foremost, search competition is fierce. If any of you have ever tried to rank first on a Google page for something, you know how hard it is. feels like there's a list of 100 plus items that you got to check off. Honestly, there is, but I'm here to give you some easy things you can do in the meantime. So first things first, use service and location-based keywords on landing pages. It is not enough just to have a home page. You really want specific landing pages for everything that you do. You want one for your schedule. You want one for any offers that you have. So this is what I'm going to kind of focus on this time. What you see here is a landing page for a Black Friday offer. So as we start working our way towards January and New Year's resolutions, Patrick and Reagan touched on earlier that, January is a big time, not necessarily for leads, but for conversions. Let's talk about how you can convert people with that in mind. So the best way to do that is to create a landing page specifically for your New Year's resolution offers. If people go search Google, this is how they're going to find it. To do that and make sure it shows up on Google, make sure you're including the best keywords that you possibly can. Think about what people are going to be searching Google for. So this company wanted to show up for Pilates Black Friday savings. You'll see School of Pilates Black Friday savings right there in the header. That is one surefire way to guarantee that this page is going to show up somewhere in Google, if not on the first or second page. Next, you're going to want to optimize those meta titles and descriptions. So this is some of that back-end stuff that Patrick was talking about. You might not be able to see it on the landing page itself, but it is essential. When people go search for those in Google, you want to also stand out in Google search results from your competitors. To do that, you want to make sure your meta titles and descriptions are also optimized with those high impact keywords. The closer you can get to what people are searching, the more likely it is that they're going to click on your website from a Google search result. So this example here is for that last page. I can see Black Friday offers, the company and the location all right there in the meta title. And then I can see details in the description. So this is telling me kind of exactly what I want to know. If I am looking for a Black Friday deal, maybe I want to think about it a little bit longer and I don't want to panic about Black Friday. I could see that this offer is open until December 5th. That's going to entice me to click on this, go to this page, and then convert. So meta titles and meta descriptions also important. Here's some other examples from the same company. Notice how each page has unique meta titles and descriptions. This is also going to help you stand out in search results. I don't know how many of you have gone and looked for something local, but a result like this with multiple options looks a lot prettier than just like one option there. So the better you can do with optimizing your meta titles and descriptions, the more likely it is you're going to get rich results in Google like this one you see here. Last but not least is those map packs. So Patrick showed earlier what happens when you search CrossFit gyms near me. It's going to show up with a little map. If you do a really good job, you might even get one of these results like off to the right side of your Google search results. What this comes from is local schema. So schema is a structured data markup that you add to the back end of your website. It's a little bit tricky. If you have a web developer, they can do that for you. But that local schema and optimizing your Google business profile is going to make it easier for a result like this to show up. The other little tidbit I have in here, you'll notice I can see that Black Friday offer is live on the right side. That is an additional post. So this company went in and posted in their Google business profile about their Black Friday offer after that made that landing page. This is another really easy way to get more eyes on that landing page that you just created. So, after you create a landing page and make your special, post it everywhere. Social media, Google business profile, that's going to help that page be more relevant and have an even better likelihood to show up in search results. This is really important with these offers too, because they're pretty limited. SEO can take a little while to increase your rankings. So to make sure that those offers in January get out and get eyes on them, the best you can do is not just make a landing page, optimize it, and then post about it. All right. Next, it's a big thing for 2026 AI search. It is totally changing the online search environment. I'm sure you'll see like Google might come up with AI search results before you see anything else in the search result pages now. So it's also really important to make sure your website is AI friendly. Little shout out for CrossFit Winter Park here. Really highly optimized website. Reagan went through and showed us what happens if I go search for something in AI. Let's use AI to help me find a CrossFit gym. CrossFit Winter Park, and the reason they show up so well here is their structured content is flawless. So they've got FAQs, they have local data, or local business schema, excuse me, and other metadata that AI can really easily read, digest, and rank. The headers are structured super specifically on their website, so AI knows exactly what's going on with every page on their website. So when someone goes and searches AI for something, it's got all that information exactly how it wants to see it from CrossFit Winter Park's website, and that's going to give you a higher likelihood of showing up in AI search results. So AI right now, a lot of it is the same for SEO and AI. The things that matter for SEO also matter for AI, but AI is more heavy on the technical backend stuff. So it's not enough just to have a pretty website. You have to make sure it's all technically sound on the back end as well. Otherwise, you just don't have a chance in showing up for AI search results. Finally, clicking on the website is just the first step. So we talked about getting people to the website. What happens when they're on the website? So I might mention conversion here, not to be confused with what happens when someone signs up. So when I am talking about conversion for a website, I'm talking about converting a website visitor to a lead. So how do we do that? First, clear, consistent CTAs. Whether you want people to book a drop-in, schedule a free intro, just sign up for a membership, whatever that action is, it should be super clear and easy to get to on your website. Even if you have a bunch of different options, those should all be organized in a pretty specific manner. So you'll see here, we've got get started CTAs on Cypress CrossFit Club's website, excuse me. They are all over the page. They say the same thing. It's just pushing people to get started, right? So the more consistent you can be with your messaging, the more likely it is that people are going to click on those buttons and actually take the next step on your website. After that step, you need to create a landing page that's focused on that conversion goal. So doesn't matter what the CTA is, doesn't matter what the goal is, you should lead people to a landing page that talks about that CTA and that goal specifically. So in this example here, they're pushing people to schedule a free trial. This is the first step that they want everybody to take when they walk in the door. So we are telling them exactly what's going to happen when they schedule their free trial. Then they're going to come meet us in person. So super clear messaging about what's happening when you create your free trial. We've got buttons that drop down directly to the form there. That is how you book your free trial. So all the information that you can get, this is everything that someone would want to know about booking a free trial with your gym. Oftentimes it's not enough just to link to a form. You really need to give them context. So clear CTAs that lead to clear landing pages that have your conversion goal clearly presented are really important to convert those website visitors into leads. Finally, guide users after they convert. So this is a super basic step, but it often gets overlooked. What we're looking at here is just a thank you page. Oftentimes people get kind of annoyed if they go fill out a form and like nothing happens. It's like, well, okay, now what? Don't let people sit there and ask that question. Just tell them thank you. You know, anything that confirms, hey, conversion, like your action has been done, your free trial has been scheduled, thank you, you're all set. That just gives you a little bit more like trustworthiness for those clients, and they're more confident when they go visit you. So don't just end that conversion page. Also, just tell them what that last step is. Even if it's just a thank you page, that is often enough to give people a good first impression of your business. Based on early data, you know, Wodify or customers who switch to Wodify sites see an average revenue increase of 17% in the first six months after launch. So that a lot of things play into that. It was pretty much everything that I just talked about. So Wodify sites does a great job doing all of that technical nitty-gritty stuff for you. You don't have to remember it if you have a Wodify site. We'll just do it on the back end for you when we build your website. But we're not only, you know, checking off boxes, we're making sure that we're doing it well. So not only are we setting up SEO optimized websites, but we're making sure that your websites speak to your clients, have your conversion goals in mind, and that results in higher revenue for you. Getting started with a Wodify site is super easy. Our sites are also kick-ass. Thank you, Ben, for the adjective. Scan a QR code here if you want to book a demo with our account management team. They'll take you through a Wodify site, few examples, tell you what we do, give you any more information that you need. You'll fill out a quick intake form to get in line and then work with us on your website. Keep in mind, our templates are just a starting point. So one thing I'm really proud of with Wodify sites is not every website looks the same. They all look very different. That's because we really take your business into mind. The more you work with us, the more we can tailor your site for your business and make sure it's customized for your goals. After that, we'll get your site launched and get you more revenue and more leads in the door.
Thanks, Taryn. Good stuff. All right. So once you've made all of these updates to your site or you switch to a Wodify site so you can have them all done for you, what happens next is just as important as what is happening on your website. When somebody fills out a form on your site or books a trial, they're asking for something, they need help, they're ready to get started, they're looking for guidance, and they should hear from you, and they should hear from you very quickly. But scary enough, according to the 2025 State of the Industry report, 14.6% of gyms don't call their leads at all. That's sending a very different message than I'm here and I'm ready to help. It's like we don't have the capacity or interest to follow through with your request. So if we want to convert more leads into clients and keep people from slipping through the cracks, it's really important that you build a system for what happens after they submit that form or takes action on your site. So speed is critical. Like I was saying, a lot of people aren't even calling their leads. But let's say you're at least doing the bare minimum of contacting your leads. Even that's not enough. Speed is very important when it comes to lead conversion. You're actually 21 times more likely to qualify a lead when you follow up within the first 5 minutes of when they reach out rather than waiting 30 minutes. So even 30 minutes feels fast, but it's just not quite fast enough. And on the flip side, you have a 400% lower conversion chance when follow-up is delayed by just 10 minutes. So speed is critical here. When someone reaches out, they're deciding in that moment, is this place the right fit for me? Should I reach out to other gyms in my area? Is there somebody else who can better help me? And that fast, thoughtful follow-up is going to reinforce trust and you don't have to sit there all day and stare at your phone and be ready to respond to a lead. You can utilize tools that we have like automation, which don't need to fully replace human touch, but it can help you deliver it more consistently. So don't trust your team's memory. They're wonderful, I know, but I've also been one of those people who's, just coached a 4 block of classes from 5 a.m. on in the morning. I'm tired, and you shouldn't have to be thinking about where everybody is in your lead pipeline and trying to remember who needs what attention. Everyone's at a different point in the process, and automating is critical for making sure nothing gets missed. We want to build sequences, for example, automating the first touch, but adding personalization to it. So I changed the names and gym names in this message thread you see here, but this is a real automated message that got sent from a gym. It feels very human, very personal, but it is automated, and the lead actually responded, "Hi," with the person's name. "Thanks for checking in. I look forward to meeting everyone." So it was an automated message, but it sounded like something they would have sent themselves, and it got that lead to make an instant contact with them. So use automation as a tool, but add that human touch to it so it sounds like you. And chances are, even if you did type it manually, you're typing the same thing generally almost every time anyways. So take that initial step off of your plate, and then you can follow up once they respond. You can also do things like layer in tasks to give people a call. So you can automate that first message that gets sent within 5 minutes, and then you can have a task get assigned to a team member to call that person within the next hour or so. And this is going to make sure that things like that don't get missed. And in addition to just those first steps, everyone's going to be in a different place in their lead, journey with your business. Some people might be scheduled for a trial or an appointment. Some people may have attended but not converted to a client afterwards. And so having sequences that handle no matter where people are in the process and remind you to follow up is very critical for not losing somebody after those first few touch points. So here you can see an example of a lead being created from filling out a form on your site, an automated email going to them, a task getting created for you to call them. that those two things together got them to book that intro appointment, and then you can continue to follow up and ultimately convert them to that paying client. And then once somebody joins, you don't want to stop talking to them. The job is not done. It's actually even more critical that you continue to make them feel important and cared for in your business. Those first 90 days are the most critical for retention. And we want to automate early touch points so new clients feel like you're paying attention and you care that they're there. You want to use 90-day sequences to build strong habits with those new clients. So making sure they're actually coming in, checking in with them when they aren't, and encouraging them when they are. You also want to align your team on what kind of outgoing messages go to clients within the first 90 days. So if your team has no idea what these clients are receiving from the business, it's going to be really weird if somebody comes into the gym later that day and makes a comment about one of the messages and your coach has no idea what they're talking about. So make sure your team's aligned on what kind of communication gets sent to clients so they can reinforce that in person. And most of you here probably use Wodify, and so you should be using all these things. They're included with your account already, and we will help you set it up. We'll help show you how you can customize the messages that get sent, the emails get sent, that so they feel personal and like your business. So you can book a setup call by scanning this QR code and start working on getting these things in place so that you're able to handle that January opportunity. And again, we will work with you to fine tune those automations based off of, your flow and your communication cadence. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Carla.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Yes. All right. Thank you, Reagan. I'm Carla from the account management team. I recognize a lot of you in the chat, but for everyone else, it is great to meet you. Now that we talked about optimizing follow-up using those automations, I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I'm going to take a look at your pricing, not just what you guys charge, but what you actually keep at the end of the day. So payment processing is a cost that shows up on every single transaction you guys run. If you're not accounting for it, you're giving up margin as the business grows. So I'm going to walk you through how we can fix that. All right. So every time a client pays you, a percentage gets taken out. You guys already know this. It might feel small. It adds up fast, though. It's thousands of dollars for most businesses. And if you're not already passing on your fees and you're curious on what you can save, this screenshot will show you where to go. So if you go into Wodify and you click on financial settings, the number that you see, that's your number. Some people will actually ask me like, oh, that's not my actual number, right? Like that's not how much I'm paying in fees, but it is. They're just not aware of what it looks like annually. And the more successful the business is, obviously, the bigger the number gets. And that's exactly why we built our passing on processing fees feature, because owners were asking for a way to manage this cost more sustainably. So my team's a team who helps people answer questions about this feature. And when we talk to gym owners, some of them are hesitant about passing on fees. It's not about squeezing more out of your clients. It's really about being intentional with your pricing. You can see here some screenshots of conversations that are going on with many Wodify customers that are already using the feature. There's close to 50% of our customers that are doing it with little or no pushback. The key is just being strategic and transparent as you go to roll this out. So when you're ready to implement it, this is what it would look like. You would pick a rollout date, and a natural date would be like January 1st, right? That's when many businesses are already making adjustments to pricing. And it's honestly when your clients are anticipating some sort of price increase, what you'll do is you'll want to just communicate it clearly. You don't have to over explain it. You just need to be transparent. If you're not sure how to word it, we've created email templates that you can use. You can just grab them, tweak them, and send, but they run along the lines of we're adding a small fee to cover the costs of processing, payment processing, while keeping our base rates the same. So, and then you'll just turn it on in Wodify. It's easy enough to do it on your own. It's in the same place that I just told you guys to look for your savings. So it's under that financial settings. You'll notice that you can set a dollar threshold. So if you only want to apply it to smaller or larger transactions, you can do that. If you only want to turn it on for new customers versus existing customers, you can do that too. And that's kind of what I've been recommending to the gyms that are hesitant about it. Turn it on for new customers. See that you're unlikely to get any pushback. Get more comfortable with the idea of passing on their fees, which I know might not feel natural. But then you can look at in January or on January 1st, turning it on for everyone else. So my team can help you like kind of walk through any questions that you have. So if you don't want to just turn this on, you want to talk through it with me or someone on my team, that QR code will get you a 15-minute call with someone here. We've helped every business, tons of business turn this on. And if not, you know where to go. It's under the financial settings. You can enable it yourself. Just know that once you've enabled it, if I enable it today, that means that starting with my next transaction, that feature is going to be passing on the processing fees. So if this is something you're looking to implement January 1st, it would be something that we would turn on at the end of this month. So again, feel free to take a picture of that QR code, book some time with us. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Ben, and he's going to show you how to turn downtime at your gym into a new revenue stream. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Carla. Hey guys, what's going on? If you haven't met me before, my name is Ben Tim. I used to own NC Fit San Marcos down in the San Diego area. I've been in this kind of industry for the last 10 years. Now I own a jiu-jitsu school in East Tennessee with my wonderful wife, and super excited to be here on the Wodify team. This is a topic for me that I'm always looking as a business owner myself. What can I do to to just find other streams of revenue, right? And as Carla had kind of mentioned, well, let's look at and talk about how can we turn some of those unused hours into opportunity, right? On average, let's just go with some quick, napkin math. If you've got 9 classes a week, and let's say you do on Monday through Friday, and maybe you've got another 5 hours on Saturday and Sunday that you're doing, less than 30% or more than 70% of your facility is just unoccupied during those times. And a lot of schools and gyms have open hours and stuff like that. But how can we turn that into an additional revenue stream that can bring more money in and help pay for that off time? I don't know about you guys, but I have to pay my landlord no matter if I'm there or not. Same as my cell phone. It doesn't matter if I use it or not. I've got to pay for it the entire time. So, in this section, we're going to get into how owners are using 24/7 access to increase their revenue, offer more flexibility, and create new membership options to better service their customers. 24/7 access is something that clients are, to be honest, are just starting to expect. And if you look at some of the other spaces in the fitness industry, you're looking at a lot of the big global gyms, right? They're offering, hey, you can go in anytime you want to work out. It's an added benefit, right? So if you're only offering access when a coach is on the floor, you're missing out on a lot of those people who maybe don't have that kind of flexibility in their day. Maybe you're missing out on the people who work during the day and only have the time at late in the evening, second shifters, third shifters, stuff like that. Flexible access lets you stay true to your brand while giving people the convenience that they value, right? This allows your business to stay competitive with some of those global gyms and retain those customers longer by giving them some more options. Flexible access can mean whatever you want it to mean. And one of the best parts about this with Wodify is you get to pick how you want to set this up. A great example, right? If in my first business, when we only had one floor, it didn't make sense. We couldn't allow open gym access during our coaching times. So that wasn't available. And there were times, you know what, there's an hour block in here. That's when my team likes to work out. So we're not going to offer anything during that time. But from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., hey, we've got that open time. And then from 9 p.m., till 4 a.m., also very open time. You can use Wodify now to pick and choose when you want to have that set up. It's all about creating more options, right? Without committing to something that doesn't align with your business. When it comes to charging for these flexible access, right, there's a lot of different options. Some owners are going to bundle this, right? Hey, it's just a part of our premium package. Some owners are going to set it up, hey, it's just an additional thing. Our regular membership, let's call it 150 bucks a month. If you want access outside of our coaching hours, you can come in. It's only 20 bucks more a month. But again, back to that napkin math, as you can see on the screen, if only 20 people sign up for it and they pay you 20 bucks, that's $4,800 more a year. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I see $4,800 more in business, that's 4 new rowers I can buy. That is, I don't know, something like a dozen Echo bikes, right? There's all kinds of things I can use that revenue for to help deliver more value to my business. Some owners, a great example here on the screen is Cole, right? Cole put, hey, if you want to have 24/7 access, it has to be in our highest membership tier, and it's an additional 20 bucks. In the first, as soon as they announced it, they sold 5 of those memberships in the first day. That's amazing. Those are little things like that. Not only did we elevate our standard membership, some of those people up to that premium membership, we also added it as that additional fee. There's a lot of gym owners that I've spoken to and that we do where it is, hey, it's you've got this, right? Some people don't have the availability to come in, or maybe they're like, I'm a competitive athlete and I only work out outside of the class times. Hey, that's fine. You can have an open access only membership, and it's this. That's less time for your staff, and they just get to come in and use the equipment. There's a lot of things that you're going to want to make sure that you set up as the business owner to make sure that this is going for you. But you've got all those options because we're using Wodify, and you can choose how you want to use this. For a long time, offering flexible access meant piecing together different systems, additional apps. Oh, I've got to switch to this app to make that happen and do this and do this. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but at Wodify, we're a big fan of a one all-in-one solution, right? Now you don't have to navigate to other apps or anything like that. You don't have to use key fobs or I don't know, like we did this once where you had the key box on the outside and then the key goes missing and you're like, oh, there's a key in the wild. I don't want to deal with that. Now you can just have your members, when you turn it on for them, they can open the app and just open the door right there through their normal app. You don't have to teach them to download, or you don't have them download another app. It's all in the Wodify app. Your clients can unlock those doors directly. You can choose what kind of door. Maybe there's a certain room that you want to have access to. Flexibility. That's what we want to focus on, right? Flexibility. One less system to manage and one thing that's easier for everybody to do. If this is something that you want to learn more about and you feel like, hey, I'm ready to explore and get started, go ahead and scan that QR code, right? That's going to be step one. We can talk to you about how you get this set up. The second step is we're actually going to look at your doors that you want to do, and we're going to help you select the right hardware from our trusted vendors. This is going to make sure that you're not buying hey, this is the off the shelf, works for everybody. It's a $4,500 door system or like that. Some of these systems are literally just a couple $100 in that range, and it's really easy for you guys. We help you select based on your doors what product or what device you need to open this all up. And the last thing that we do is we help you get it all set up, and then you guys go ahead and go live. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the easiest ways to add additional revenue to your business without an additional cost of staffing hours, without an additional cost of other platforms or anything like that. It's an all-in-one system right here for everybody to use. With that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Reagan to close us out.
Thank you, Ben. If you were thinking, what the heck, when did Wodify start offering 24/7 access solutions that's not an integration? This is kind of like our full soft launch. You guys are getting like the first big communication of this new feature. This is something our team's been working on for a really long time. Carla even went on site with a customer a couple weeks ago to pilot launching it. We have a couple customers like CrossFit Humanity who got a little spotlight here, who are already live and using it. So If you're interested or you're already using something else and you'd like something a little bit more built into Wodify so you don't have to manage membership access manually, and that sort of thing, this is new. We do now offer it. And if you want to learn more, like Ben was saying, you can get a demo with our team. I'm going to repost all of these links for you guys in just a second when I stop screen sharing. So if you missed one of those QR codes, no worries, I will get them in the resources section. So just to recap, everything we just talked about were all strategies with the intent of helping you set up systems for smart growth in 2026. You need to make sure your website doesn't just look good, it shows up when people go looking and it turns interest into action. It's clear how to get started. One fun little exercise you can always do with your site is pull it up on your phone, hand it to a friend who has no interest or in joining your gym. We all have one we can't convince to join, and see if they can figure out what to do without any instruction. Does your site pass a ease of use test? So that can always be fun, just to kind of get some outside perspective. Next, you want to make sure you have automations and systems in place to quickly and consistently follow up with leads and new clients. You also want to make sure you're protecting your profit margins with smart pricing, whether that's passing on processing fees or making sure that you are making small incremental price adjustments, every year or so to keep up with, the rising costs of operating a business. And then making sure you're turning underutilized or unused hours into a revenue stream. So like Ben was saying, it doesn't have to be 24/7. Some people get a little bit scared about having people doing who knows what in the gym in the middle of the night. So you can always just make it, the middle of the day during regular business hours when you aren't holding classes. And so implementing even just one of these things can make a huge impact on how you start in 2026. Don't get overwhelmed. Maybe pick one, start there. And you are not alone. You don't have to figure it all out yourself. We are here to help you. You can book one-on-one Zoom calls with us to get training. You can drop in our live chat, which is really easy to find now in Wodify in the bottom left corner of your screen. You can work with our business success team to set up automations. You can join the community hub, which is our Facebook group, to interact with myself. I run the group, other Wodify team members, and fellow owners. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel where we are regularly posting content about how to make the most out of Wodify and also just general like industry insights. And then also, if you have any feedback for us, we always love to hear your thoughts. You can drop those in our idea portal.